YouTube, it's RSMario here, bringing you another episode in the long and unending saga that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks. So Kaka and Ridicule have been back at it again, and of course it's all been condensed together by Central Pokemon leaks. So we're going to talk about that. Some pretty interesting leaks on this one today. So they're talking about some of the abilities from the older abilities from the games have been changed for Scarlet and Violet. We're going to talk about some of the new Pokemon that we're going to get. Kind of interesting. It's going to be pretty cool. So of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me, as well as follow me on Twitter, like my video tweet so I can shout you out. Got some shout outs coming at the end of this video, as well as drop a comment down below because that helps the channel grow. And check out the video I did yesterday that I don't think YouTube sent out to people because I don't usually post videos on Sunday. So YouTube was probably like, what are you doing here? I'm not going to send this out. So I did post a video yesterday about the news coming out of Pokemon World Championships. You can check that video out here and in the card on whatever side it's going to be on, as well as in the ending card at the end of this video. Alright, so let's get to them leaks. Multiple OP abilities were nerfed hard. So for example, some can only be used once per battle now. One of those examples is Zacian's Intrepid Sword. So now I heard that Zacian and Zamazenta were not in the game, so I'm not quite sure how he was able to figure that out. Maybe he got it from, like, you know, the code of the game or something. But of course it said Protean is also nerfed. So if you don't know Protean is the hidden ability for Greninja, and basically what Protean does is Protean it changes your type to whatever attack you're using. So, you know, Greninja is water dark. Normally, if you use something like Gunk Shot, you know, it changes him to poison. So he always has stab every time he uses an attack. So I assume, like Intrepid Sword, maybe Protean will only be able to be used once. Like, it'll change your type once in the battle, or maybe it can be used every couple of turns. Like, I can see that, like, oh, like Protean can only activate like every 2 or 3 turns, so you can't change every time you attack. Or maybe even put in like some RNG, like, oh, there's a 60% chance that you'll change into that type, something like that. You know what I'm saying? That'll actually work for Protean. I mean, because that way it might not clash with the terrorizing, you know what I'm saying? Or they could just not put Greninja in the game, but that would also kind of suck. So let's see. Then it says a gimmick of the gym leaders in the Elite Four this generation is going to use Pokemon that are not their type but terrorize them, which is kind of expected. I mean, like, that would be like one of the best uses of terrorizing, not terrorizing. The terrorizing ability would be to basically have a gym leader have, like, if there's a ground gym, they can have like an electric Pokemon, you know, to stop all those water users that are gonna, you know, pop up because it's a ground gym, and then terrorize to the electric Pokemon to a ground type, so it can still use ground moves or whatever, and then also use the electric moves to hit the daggone water Pokemon. Even though, you know, I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that especially. So most of the Pseudo Legends have made it into the game, except for 2. So that's what I've heard from a lot of other people as well, that most of the Pseudos are in. The only 2 that are probably not in are Metagross, and some people are saying Komo-o, but other people are saying that Ghost Dragon from Generation 7. The one that looks like a stealth bomber. So, I mean, either way, I think it's alright. I mean, Komo-o is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if I would use him on my team when there's, like, you know, whatever that Ice Dragon's going to be. But, I mean, it would kind of suck to not have Komo-o in the game. Now we have some news on Paradox Pokemon. So, a lot has been coming out about Paradox Pokemon. So, a lot of people believe that Paradox Pokemon are kind of like past and future forms. And if I'm not mistaken, leakers have said this before. I think Q himself has said this before, that they were kind of like past and future forms. So that was what he was alliterating at in his riddles. And now, of course, he's saying that no, they're not descendants and ancestors of the Pokemon. They are literally a paradox. So a time paradox is basically where time is altered. All right, so that means you've done something in the timeline that has altered the timeline in some way. That's like when you kill somebody. Like if you kill Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 5, which is a prequel to all the other Metal Gear Solid games. If you kill Ocelot or you find a way to get him killed or something, then they're going to say that it was a time paradox, because technically Ocelot is in Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So if he's in all those games and you kill him in 5, which is the prequel, it's a time paradox because he dies and that changes the timeline. So Paradox Pokemon are not just the past or the future version of a Pokemon. Something has happened in whatever timeline they came from that made them different. So they're completely different Pokemon. So Vampire Jigglypuff is not just a Jigglypuff that hit up Party City on Halloween. It is a whole different Pokemon, and something happened to it in its timeline that made it, want to drain the blood of people. Essentially. So then moving on though. So the Ostrich Pokemon is pure Psychic type, which okay. I mean, Psychic Flying would be good. I don't think we have other than like Hisuian Braviary, I don't think we have a Psychic Flying Pokemon. But okay. The Crab, which is one of the Pokemon bosses, which is like the alphas of the game, is a Rock type, that makes him probably like a Hermit Crab, like one of those crabs from Pirates of the Caribbean, if you remember the crabs in Davy Jones' locker. The coin Pokemon can have different colors. That's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I wish they had like different sizes for the coin. Like, you've got like one that's supposed to be like a penny, one that's like a quarter, one that's like a dime. Like, that would be kind of cool. Like, that way you can kind of like have different ones. The rodent Pokemon with parental bond starts as a couple and evolves into a family. Oh. So it's kind of like a weird version of Diglett, because Diglett starts as 1 and ends up as 3. So this starts as 2 and ends up as 4. Okay, I mean, that's cool. Alright, so this one right here is cool. The Grasshopper Kamen Rider Pokemon. So if you don't know what Kamen Rider is an old Sentai show from back in I want to say it's the 90s, but everything we got from Japan actually came out earlier in Japan, so it might have been the 80s. But it's like Power Rangers, but it's only one guy, and he rides a motorbike, and he has a costume that's dressed like a Kamen Rider, like a bug, and so they're gonna have a Grasshopper Pokemon that's based off of Kamen Rider, and they're saying it's supposed to be a bug and dragon type. That sounds kind of lit. Bug dragon, like, I'm trying to think of like a spread here for him. So it's gonna be weak against ice, dragon, neutral to fire. I think it's still gonna be weak against fairy. I think it'll be weak against fighting and rock. And I think that's it. Oh, and flying will hit it. That's kind of a lot of weaknesses, but I think it's gonna be pretty interesting though. Bug dragon, like, so it's gonna be maybe fast, but probably have good like attacking stats. I think this thing's gonna be good. Alright, I definitely think it's gonna be good. And it's a 2-stage too, so that's probably gonna look sick. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be good. So Diglett's convergent species is pure water, which, I mean, it's kind of expected. If it's supposed to be like Diglett but not Diglett, I mean, Diglett's pure ground. This thing is probably going to be pure water. The same thing with like the mushroom that's supposed to be like Tentacruel is probably gonna be like grass poison. You know what I'm saying? Or grass psychic, because it's supposed to look like a brain. So it can be grass psychic, whereas the opposite is water poison. And so then the Tauros. So of course we've heard a couple rumors about what the different Tauros forms typings are going to be, but there's going to be normal Tauros, then there's going to be fighting Tauros, there's going to be fighting fire Tauros, and then there's going to be another one. There's a blue Tauros is going to be either fighting water or fighting ice. I don't really see an ice Tauros. Like, I mean, maybe like a yak, like a yak like you see from like Tibet. You know what I'm saying? The only other one I think is a water type, like fighting water, because it'll be like a water buffalo. You know, that's the closest thing you get to a bull in the water is a water buffalo. So yeah, that's about it for this. That's about it for the leaks. The next video is going to be a theory video. I'm going to film it probably while you're watching this. So I'm going to do a theory about the Pokemon gyms tomorrow. Knock on wood. Hold a second. Because this way, you know, some big might come out and I have to not do that video and push it off again. I've pushed that video and the anime video I wanted to do off by like at least a couple weeks because of all the leaks coming out. Alright, and of course we have some shout outs. So we have, first one we have is, I'm going to probably butcher this, so I'm sorry. But it's Bali Del Zosa. Bali Del Zosa at Bali Del Zosa, houseplant lover, awesome. They liked my video tweet about the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks. That's most of the videos I have. And then we have Laura Moore. She liked my new review of She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 1 that I posted earlier today, that you can also check out on my second channel, The Loot Box Hero. So you can check that out as well. Of course, thank y'all for liking my video tweets. And if you want to get shouted out like Laura and Bali did, follow me on Twitter, like my video tweet, retweet my video tweet if you wanted to, because that's what Laura did. She's awesome. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Drop a comment down below because that will help the channel grow. And as always, keep it real.